and welcome to another video. I am Stephanie Kilgast and I've been a full-time artist for almost 2 decades now. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how I sculpted a squid. This is my most recent sculpture and I named it Squid's Story. Now I'm going to talk about natural history in today's video because I really find squids fascinating. So if you're not really interested into that, then you can simply mute me and put up your favorite music while you watch me sculpt. I'm going to be using polymer clay for this squid and then paint it at the end with acrylic gouache, but that's pretty much it. So squids are really fascinating creatures, and if you have never seen a squid in action, you really have to check out videos after this one because it's hard to comprehend how fast they're able to change colors, patterns, and even the shape, the structure and texture of their skin. They change their appearances for 3 main reasons, which I'm going to discuss a bit later. So the first one is hunting. Of course, you need to hunt to eat, so it is a strong motivation to survive. So hunting is the first. Second is mating, again, makes a lot of sense. Third one is camouflage, which also makes a lot of sense. It's very strongly motivated by the emotion of being eaten, so of fear. The 3 points are about survival, right? Hunting for food, because you need food to survive. Mating is survival of the species. And camouflage is surviving from other predators. So it's always kind of about survival, life in general, I would say. Now there's actually a 4th thing with them that we're going to talk about last. Let's just start with the hunting. The hunting for me was the most impressive because I had no clue they would do that. They have a specific technique that scientists have dubbed hypnotizing their prey. So squids are basically, so they're cephalopods. So basically a head and feet. Cephalo is head and pod is feet. And they have 8 small arms and 2 large or longer and larger tentacles. And when they hunt on, maybe not all of them, but certain species, they will spread their tentacles on each side. So it's going to do kind of like a line. And then they're going to create a pattern in black and white, or maybe think more in dark and light, and it's going to be a moving pattern like waves. They love crab. They really enjoy eating crab, and so they will put themselves in front of a crab with those spread tentacles on both sides, and they staying rigid like that, and they facing the crab, and then the pattern washes over their body in waves of black and white. And my boyfriend actually mentioned something that I think is probably quite true. It really looks like waves. It looks like the light that comes through the waves of the water and creating a dark and light pattern on the ground. And so I suppose it might also simply lull the crab into a sense of security, like there's nothing happening here, it's just waves above my head, if that makes sense. But maybe it's also actually hypnotizing. I don't know. I'm not even sure anyone really knows. So that was a very fascinating technique of hunting. There might be others. I haven't seen any other one, but you have to watch this one. It's very eerie. It's very alien-like, and it's almost scary because you kind of see the intelligence of another species at work. So for mating, they will also play around with patterns to look nicer, I guess, to the females. But one thing that I thought was quite interesting is that smaller males sometimes will pretend to be females to be able to approach females so they would not get attacked by larger males, but at the same time will kind of split their pattern into 2. So one side is going to flirt. I didn't find another word, but to kind of flirt with their skin towards a female, and the other side is just going to pretend to be another female to the male. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I thought it's always very interesting when you see that kind of strategies put into place, because I think as humans we have the tendency to think we are so much smarter than anyone else, but there are so many different types of intelligence and consciousness and awareness out there that I think it's good to remember that we're not the smartest ones out there. So that's the second thing. The third thing is camouflage. So that makes sense as well, right? You don't want to be eaten. Now, squids and cephalopods in general, octopuses are actually not too far off, but we're focusing on squids today. If a predator, I think sharks like to eat cephalopods, but I'm sure there are other predators that can be kind of dangerous. It kind of depends on the size of the squid, of course. Some are very large and some are very small. And so what they're going to do, and this is also so impressive, especially in that documentary, you see the squid go from that dark light wave pattern towards the camouflage pattern and texture in the blink of an eye. And it's just very impressive. So they use chromophores. It's basically cells on their skin that can change colors and texture very fast. And so they will be able to create spikes all over the bodies and to change. And then, changing the arms, that seems a little bit easier because you can do that with your own arms, right? You can make strange movements and pretend you're a tree or something like that. It's not convincing as a human because our skin stays skin looking, but with the squids, since they change the skin colors, they can look like algae and they can simply hide in plain sight in kelp forests or whatnot. So it's very impressive to watch. And the last thing is that they've been seen kind of like talking to themselves. So they're alone, they're not trying to mate anyone, they're not trying to hunt anyone, and they're not trying to camouflage. Yet there are still patterns and colors washing over their skin. So are they dreaming? Are they thinking out loud? Are they showcasing their emotions? We don't really know. Can they help it or not? We know they can help it because they can change according to the situation. But is that emotional pattern thinking, is that conscious, or do they do it like this? We don't really know. So there's a lot of things we don't know for sure, and I think that makes them even more fascinating. So yeah, that's kind of all I had to say today about squids. If you find that interesting, I can only encourage you to look up documentaries about squids. You're not going to be disappointed. Thank you so much for watching until now. If you watched until now, leave an ocean emoji, or there are no squids emoji, so ocean emoji it will have to do. Or let me know if you love squids as well, or if you have any other fun facts about squids that I didn't mention, or maybe I don't know, because it's not like I'm not a biologist or anything like that. I have an interest in natural history, which is different. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and staying with me until now. I hope you enjoyed the sculpting process, but also the natural history part. I wish you a lovely day, night, weekend, or week, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!